Hey, what's up, guys? I want to talk a little bit about prepping, but there's plenty of awesome videos about prepping essentials. Okay, what do I mean by that? Prepping stuff that's going to keep you alive and kicking. Okay, prepping food, storing water, all kinds of tools, stuff like that. Stuff you really need to survive and live, right? This video is going to be more on frivolous items to prep. Okay, now think about this. There's various reasons you can be prepping for something. Okay, it could be natural disaster. It could be prepping for society being down for 2 days or being down for 2 years. Okay, there's a bunch of different reasons people do prep. And if you know what prepping is at this point, it just means preparing. Okay, it's just buying stuff in surplus. So if for some reason you're unable to go to the store to buy these things, our modern conveniences, they just all disappear and go away, that you have what you need to survive, right? But today, like I said, I'm talking about more frivolous things. Things that, one, could be very good for bartering. Two, could keep entertainment, okay, which is very important. Okay, some people forget that aspect of prepping. You have the staples, you have food, you have water. You're going to be able to stay alive. Now, what do you do? Of course, there's plenty to do, but you're going to have a lot of downtime. Remember, no TV, no internet. Oh my God, no internet. You know, so what are you going to do with all this spare time? Your downtime. You can talk to your family and friends. You can have conversation, but wouldn't you like some things to do for recreation? This could mean a lot of different things. I want to focus on two very specific things in this video, and that is tobacco and alcohol. Okay, but briefly, I'll mention some other stuff that I think are frivolous but very good. Okay, as far as entertainment goes, you may want to prep stuff like games. Okay, books I think are a fantastic thing to prep, okay, for two reasons. One, entertainment, and two, if you prep educational books, remember, we don't have the convenience of the internet anymore at this point. Again, whether it's you're talking about a week or a year or two, there's no let's hop on Google real quick to figure out how to do that. So you may want to prep some how-to books, some DIY books, stuff that you normally don't know how to do, and in any given situation you may have to learn how to do. Well, where are you going to get the information from? Who's going to teach you? Books are extremely valuable, okay, in any kind of situation like that. Any real emergency, information is going to be just over the top awesome for you. And besides that, like I said, no more TV, okay? But you don't need a VCR or a DVD player, a Blu-ray player, or a television screen, or cable internet to enjoy a book, okay, and to be entertained by a story, okay. That's definitely a huge form of entertainment, and you will need some form of entertainment because eventually you'll have told all your stories to people, all right, and you'll talk about everything you could possibly talk about, and you will be bored. Some other things to consider, maybe like snacks, like candy, something that's going to keep for a very long time. Again, it's not an essential to live, but living on your freeze-dried foods, okay, and your 50 gallons pails of rice and beans, it's going to get a little mundane. Might be nice to have a Tootsie Roll or a lollipop every now and then, as a real treat, particularly if you have children. Okay, don't forget, I think there's a lot of families out there who are into prepping and they have, like I said, hundreds of pounds of rice and beans, and poor kids, 5 years old, they're going to be eating rice and beans. All they want is something sweet every now and then, so maybe that's something to consider. But yeah, there's tons of frivolous things we can prep. Now, I'm focusing on alcohol and tobacco specifically because these, I think, are the two most frivolous things that are used in the world. Think about how many thousands of people use tobacco on a regular basis. How many cigarette smokers there are out there. Now, I'm using a jar of some cherry mix. Actually has 7 different types of cherry pipe tobacco from different brands and so forth. All things that I've tried and none that I particularly liked. Most of them are cheaper ones. And I just mixed it all together to do a cherry mix here. But this jar of pipe tobacco is just representing all tobacco, period. Pipes, cigars, cigarettes, okay, whatever, all tobacco. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of tobacco users. Think about these people. What are they going to do when they can no longer go to the store to get a pack of butts? They can no longer go to the smoke shop to buy a really nice cigar, or a tin of pipe tobacco. A lot of these people rely on it. They're addicts. It's a drug. Just because it's legal doesn't change anything. Tobacco is a drug. It has nicotine. It's addictive. Um, of course, I think cigarette smokers are going to be more prone to being addicted than, say, pipe smokers or perhaps even cigar smokers. But there's still plenty of people out there who are addicted to it. There's pipe smokers who smoke all day long, every single day. Same with cigars. You may smoke 2 or 3 cigars in a day, and you do that every day. And then there's more casual smokers. But think about that. This is going to make a fantastic bartering item, okay? When you have a point where you can no longer go to the store to buy your tobacco and all these people don't know where to get it, guess what? You have it, okay? It's just an idea for a frivolous prep. It may not be for yourself. You may not be a smoker, okay? You may not have anything to do with tobacco. However, understand that the people around you do smoke tobacco and they will not have it. The average person is not a prepper. The average person relies on our modern conveniences. And if your neighbor down the street all of a sudden needs to smoke a butt and he can't go to the store anymore, well, guess what? You got a big bag of tobacco that you bought, okay, and he really needs a cigarette, really, really bad. And guess what? He's got a gallon of milk that you really need. Bartering. It gives you options. So think about that. Now let's talk a little bit about price, okay? Pipe tobacco tends to be cheaper than other tobaccos, okay? Yes, you could buy cheap cigars and you could buy cheap cigarette tobacco, but pipe tobacco is not very expensive at all. In fact, you can get, there are expensive pipe tobaccos and not expensive, but put it this way, the most expensive tobacco that I've seen for pipes, and I mean what would be considered really, really expensive, is about $40. And this is like unheard of for the most part, but $40 for a tin of like 2 ounces of it, that's like the most expensive you can get. The average is going to be roughly $10 to $12 for like a good size, like coffee tin, amount. Something like this, about $10 to $12. But there's certainly, if you walk into a smoke shop, you'll find that there's a wall of pipe tobacco and they're huge bags. They're like potato chip sized bags filled to the brim with pipe tobacco. And they average about $20 to $25. So my suggestion is just as if you're a serious prepper in general, whether you smoke or not, I would suggest buying a bag of cigarette tobacco just for your preps and put it away. It's a great bartering option. Tobacco and alcohol, which we'll get to in a second, will be money in that situation. And it's going to be fantastic for bartering, okay? Because there are plenty of addicts walking around who need it. And guess what? You will have it. Now think about that. $20 for a big old bag of cigarette tobacco. You can get a couple packs of rolling papers real cheap. You don't have to buy expensive brands. Tops brands, they sell a pack of like 100 rolling papers for like $1. It's 99 cents. All right, so you figure $20 for a big bag of cigarette tobacco and $5 worth of papers. You're good to go, and that's going to be more papers than you're going to need. But it's just, think about it. It's a consideration. Now, if you personally smoke yourself, you may want to go the extra mile of perhaps buying a cigarette rolling machine and also maybe a pack of cigarette tubes, which basically have the filters and the papers together so you can roll your own cigarettes. You can make your own little mini production line. If you do personally smoke, you may want to do that for yourself for the convenience. But if you're a non-smoker, perhaps you want to just prep, like I said, a bag of tobacco and some rolling papers. It's very simple. If need be, you can take a pinch of tobacco, roll it up into a homemade cigarette. Although crude looking, it will be functional and you can use those for bartering, okay, homemade cigarettes. All right, now let's talk a little bit about alcohol. Alcohol is no different. Just like tobacco, it plays a major role in thousands, I'm going to say millions of people around the world. It's part of their daily habit. There are addicts. There are people who are alcoholics, okay? And if they don't have their alcohol, they will have physical problems. They will have sweats. They won't be able to sleep. They'll feel sick. They're going through withdrawal. It's a drug, like anything else. And perhaps we're going back not towards the people who need this stuff, but maybe the people who would like it. Hey, you're sitting around doing nothing. society is in total crap and ruins, there's lots of people that would love some booze, maybe to forget their problems. And booze is pretty cool because it's multifunctional. It's also an antiseptic. You can use it to clean out your wounds. You know, it's kind of medical as well. And it can certainly be a form of entertainment for a lot of people. It will be extremely popular in true SHTF. I don't really like the term. I don't like a lot of prepping terms, even prepping. I think Never Enough Ammo said that in a video too. He hates the term prepping because it should just be lifestyle. It should be what everyone does, but there is a term for it, and we all use the term to kind of have an equal understanding of what it is. But alcohol, yes. If society starts breaking down, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to run to the food store. Those people are smart. They're smart people. The dumb people, okay, and you see this in riots all the time. Well, it's different in a riot because it's not really a society breakdown. It's just that specific moment. But the dumb people will run to, say, the electronic stores and steal big screen TVs and that kind of crap. They're morons. They're total idiots. Please, by all means, have that TV you can't watch. Steal a big one so I can watch you struggle it carrying down the street. The very, very smart people will go to the pharmacies, okay, and they will take all of those pharmaceuticals home with them, okay, and they will loot the pharmacies because prescription medications are going to be at a premium in SHTF, okay. People who rely on medicine to stay alive for their health issues are no longer going to be able to go to the store and get them. So drugs, legal or not, are going to be at a very high premium and very high in demand. Now, other smart people will go loot, the sporting goods stores. They will get weapons, obviously steal guns and ammo and stuff. Those are smart people as well. Many people will go to a liquor store. Okay, now I don't think it should be your first pit stop in your looting, travels. But it's certainly good to have liquor on hand for that very reason. A lot of people are going to need it, and then many more are just going to want it. So it's a fantastic bartering thing. Now, liquor does not have to be expensive, just like tobacco. Now, again, talking about tobacco, for about $50 total, you can get, a big bag of tobacco, a bunch of papers, maybe 2 different types of tobaccos, and you're set, and not even $50 in most cases. We're looking at more like 30, like I said, to get a big bag and some papers. Alcohol, you can get a gallon of cheap booze for like $15. It depends on what you're looking for. You may want to buy whiskeys, maybe you want to buy vodka. It doesn't really matter. And in that kind of situation, I don't think there's going to be much preference anyway. So you want to just get straight alcohol. You don't want to get the foo-foo stuff and the pre-mixed drinks and all that kind of crap. You want to get straight alcohol so it's multifunctional and so more people can enjoy it. Now, if you happen to be, say, a beer drinker, okay, there's plenty more people. I don't know if there's more, but there's plenty of people who like beer over, regular spirits or hard alcohol. Beer's tricky because you need more of it to have the same effect, and no one really wants to drink warm beer, whereas spirits you can have kind of room temperature and it could be fine. But hey, if that's your thing, if you personally drink beer and beer will definitely be in a high demand, by all means, buy 1 or 2 30-packs of cans and just keep that, to prep. These are all frivolous things, extra things, but I got to thinking of it today, and they will be in demand, and I think they will be great bartering things, and they will form entertainment for you, as well as, just something to use. All right, think about what you use in your daily life that you wouldn't want to go without. There's a lot of people, not just America, all around the world, who would definitely not want to go without their tobacco or without their alcohol. Now, if you can only pick one because you're limited on money, I would certainly go for the alcohol. It's more versatile than tobacco. Like I said, you could even use it for an antiseptic or to sterilize things if you needed to for medical purposes and stuff like that. And, hey, who knows? You can even use it as a weapon. If you got the real cheap stuff, you can make a, Molotov cocktail. Throw a rag in the top there, and there you go. Since you can't go to the store and buy grenades, at least you have something that's very effective to defend yourself. But, of course, if you use it in a weapon form, it's going to be more of a waste than using it in other ways. But I just want to give this this video to you guys to just get a conversation going. Let's talk about this, Post in the comments. What are your thoughts on this? yeah, suggest other things that are frivolous but that are very much used, in society. Think about the extra stuff. What are you gonna do with all your downtime? You're gonna have a heck of a lot of downtime once you've secured a shelter for yourself and your family, and this, that, and the other thing, and you got food, and you got water. All the important stuff's done. Now you're sitting around with your gun, waiting to protect your stuff. What are you gonna do with your time? What are you gonna use to barter? Um, as far as looting, I still think the jewelry stores are a smart place to go because I'm always going to be an advocate of metals, silver and gold. I think, particularly in that situation, I don't think there'll be. I don't. I personally don't think there'll ever be a true anarchy, chaos. Society breaks down for good forever. I don't think that'll ever happen. But I think that there's always a possibility that society does break down, and it is chaotic for a duration of time, whether it's a month or 2 months or possibly a year or two. I don't think it'll go much longer than a couple years at best. But if that's the case, you're not going to have these conveniences. You can't hop on the internet for information, so prep some books. You can't go to the store to buy cigarettes, so prep in advance. But anyway, just another thinking video. If you got ideas on different stuff you think might be good to prep, then by all means, let me know. And don't forget about the kids. You may want to prep some different toys that they've never played with. If you got a little 4-year-old or something, they're going to be awfully bored. Board games, packs of cards, playing cards, stuff that's going to keep you guys busy because you have to have your brain going. You don't want to get into this situation where for months on end you're doing nothing and you're just, your mind's turned into pudding. You got to be stimulated. Keep the mind going. Maybe, who knows, maybe it's a big stack of crossword puzzles, and Sandoku puzzles. Whatever your thing is, the stuff you get at the airport, just a whole book of crap to keep you busy pretty much, stuff you give people when they go to the hospital, those kind of things. But anyway, I just thought it'd be a good idea for a video to get a conversation going and perhaps other videos going on the subject. Frivolous prepping, stuff that's extra. Once your necessities, your bare bones, this is what's going to keep me alive is prepped, then what? So anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. And I hope to hear your comments. And I will see you soon in another video. Take it easy.